Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be my halfway through the year update of products that I want to use up in 2018. I get so excited to film these videos, but I don't see much progress because it's very difficult for me to make progress on hitting pan on especially eyeshadows and blushes and lipsticks. Like, it is very hard for me to use up a lipstick. And it is crazy that I haven't really made more progress on eyeshadows because I've actually been wearing eyeshadows a ton. And I've been wearing makeup basically every single day. That I really am surprised that I haven't made more progress on certain products. I can tell you right now, I've only hit pan on one eyeshadow. One. In 6 months, I've hit pan on one eyeshadow. Maybe two. I don't know if I hit pan on Firefly this year or last year, but it is extremely difficult for me. So I'm just going to go through everything. I actually have a ton of products to mention. I'm just going to mention the primers first, so let's just go in order of primers, foundations, concealers, etc. So anyway, let's start with primers. So the first one is the Stila One Step Corrector. I'm trying not to use this up too quickly because I'm probably not going to repurchase this after this until Ulta puts it on half price again. Because usually, I just want to put my ring on because I'm supposed to go to my boyfriend's house today. He probably is just going home from class now, so he'll probably let me know when he's there. I also am thinking about stopping by Ulta before I see him because Flower Beauty is buy one get one 50 off online. I'm not sure if it is in store, but I want to check it out. So anyway, this is one of my all-time favorite primers. And as you guys can see, I'm almost done with this is my third one. So this is like my ultimate favorite primer. It's just fucking fantastic. I love it so much. But again, it is an expensive primer. It's like $35. And honestly, I have written off buying high-end primers now completely because they are just too expensive. I will only spend the money on high-end foundations, not primers. Even like other products, I've just been so into drugstore products this year. Like, I've been married to the drugstore, like I've said, that I just picked up 5 new primers that I just showed you guys in my haul that I just posted. So I'm probably not going to be repurchasing this until it's on sale again, because usually they put this on sale for like $16, but I think they usually also promo this on their website, and sometimes Ulta has these on sale too. So we'll see. Like, I think that their other one-step corrector was on sale for like half price. So maybe we'll just check it out today. We'll see. But I'm not going to pick it up anytime soon because I just picked up a bunch of new primers. So that's the first one. Then the second one, I did say I was going to use up very soon, like right after I recorded the video of products I want to use up in 2018. It actually took me quite a while to use this up. I'm pretty much at the end of this. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer. Again, it's never really that difficult for me to use up a face primer because I use them every day. And I was using this on a daily basis for a while because it was one of the only primers I had. But like I said, I just went and purchased 5 new drugstore primers, so I'm probably not going to be using this again for a little while. I did repurchase it a little bit ago, though, so I haven't made a crack in that one yet because I still haven't used up this one, but I probably only have like 1 or 2 uses out of it because like every time I think it's finished, I end up squirting out a little bit more product, so I'm not gonna like waste it. But it's only a $5 primer, but this is really nice. I like it a lot. It's very moisturizing on the skin. And the last one is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I have repurchased this primer. As you guys can see, look how much I've actually used of this primer. So this is one of my go-to favorite primers as well, and I'm pretty much down to here on it. So the proof is in the pudding. You can obviously see that I've used this a ton. This is such a nice silicone-based primer, but I'm probably, again, not going to be repurchasing this. I just picked up the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer and the LA Girl one, which are both silicone-based primers, so this is pretty easily dupable. It's not anything special. It's a good primer, but, like, I don't need to repurchase something so expensive. I have repurchased this once. This was my second one. I'm probably not going to repurchase it again. I did just use up my Smashbox Primer Water again, and I'm probably not going to repurchase that either because I'm just getting the NYX Primer Spray now, which is so much cheaper. So, and I just used up my first bottle of that, so that's not any trouble for me to use up either. Okay, now let's get into foundations. I did not even realize how many foundations I did goal myself to use up. It's not like I didn't make progress because, again, foundations are so easy for me to use up as well. So I'm going to mention this one. This is actually my second bottle of it, but I got rid of the first one because I mentioned it in the products I've used up video. So this is my second one of the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Fit Me Foundation, Normal to Dry, in the shade 110 Porcelain. I absolutely love this foundation. I was just wearing this in my haul video that I just posted, so I was wearing this with the CoverGirl concealer. I absolutely love this foundation, so this is my second bottle of it. So I did goal myself to use up the first one, and I used it up around a month or two ago, so I didn't use it up right away, but it was pretty easy for me too, because when I was talking about it in my products I want to use up in 2018 video, I think it was like down to here already. So this is my second bottle. I've been using it a lot more often in the summertime. I didn't really reach for this when I first started the bottle because I had a ton of other foundations I was testing out from the drugstore, but I'm still going back to this recently. Like I said, I just used it yesterday, and since I haven't been working as often and I don't have, like, I don't really keep my makeup on after work anymore. I usually take it off right afterwards to go to my boyfriend's house. If I'm seeing like a friend or something, like I don't really like do that whole thing where after work I put on different eyeshadow and then I go see somebody else because I haven't really been hanging out with a lot of people. I've just been hanging out with my boyfriend. So, but I usually just take it off to go to his house. But this is one of my go-to favorite foundations. It's such a great foundation. I love it. Then the next one that I made a lot of progress on, of course, is my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 2. I'm not sure how far down that this is, but I can't get it out of the pump anymore. I think it's pretty far down. I probably could just open it up and tell you guys really quickly. Yeah, it's pretty far down. So this has been my most used up foundation in my collection. You guys already know this, but it wasn't any trouble for me to use up a fourth one. This is still one of my favorite foundations as well. And I just used this about like 2 days ago for work. So it's, again, a beautiful, dewy, luminous foundation. It's still one of my all-time faves. It is just so beautiful on the skin. Like, every time I wear this, I always remember why I love this foundation. I don't wear it as often anymore because I have so many other foundations to use, but I have been reaching for this quite a bit this past month, and it's such a beautiful foundation on the skin. So I absolutely love it. I don't have to talk about it anymore, so that's not going to be hard for me to use up very soon. And then the last one that I knew wasn't going to be too difficult for me to use up this foundation is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate foundation. I'm almost done with it. I thought this was going to be completely empty by now. I did just use it today as well. I wasn't using it very often the past month or so because I had like, or in May, because May was my finals month, and then June I was wearing makeup to work a lot, so I was working a lot more this past month, I'm pretty sure. But also, like, I've been trying not to wear foundation as often when I just go to his house. I've only done that once or twice though, but usually this is my go-to when I wear light foundation or another foundation that I'm going to mention that I'm going to try and use up this year as well because I didn't include it in the last video because I didn't have it yet. But yeah, this is not going to be any trouble for me to absolutely use this up. This is in the shade Cool Vanilla. Probably only after a couple more uses I'll use this guy up, so I'm not really worried about using this up. I'm not sure if I'm going to repurchase it though. I mean, I really love this foundation. I probably will repurchase it just because I absolutely love this. But I am interested in trying out some other foundations like the Flower Beauty one. Because like I said, I want to go to Ulta and check out Flower Beauty. Why is this bleeding over here? Okay, that's better. And see if it's buy one, get one 50 off in the store. If it's only online, I'm just going to order a couple of things from them. But this one's kind of getting a little bit old, so that's why I haven't used it as often, and it's kind of getting a little bit oily and separated, but it doesn't bother my skin. It might just be getting a little bit oily because it's been hotter outside. So, because it is hot, you guys. Like, it's July now. Like, so it's getting pretty hot out, but this has been like my go-to for the hotter weather. I love it. Okay. And then the next ones, I'm probably not going to use these up anytime soon. One, I'm just going to eliminate from using up, but these two I use a ton. I don't know how much progress I've actually, like, made on them, but this is the Dior Skin Forever Perfect Makeup Everlasting Wear Pore Refining Effect with Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 35/Shine Control Foundation in the shade 014. You guys know this was like my holy grail foundation for quite a while. I found my new favorite foundation after the Giorgio Armani. This is still one of my all-time favorites. It's so gorgeous on the skin. The only downfall is that it does oxidize a lot, but it's so beautiful on the skin. I just look past that, and I try not to use as much foundation, but as you can see, I do use it a ton. I actually have been reaching for this and the other foundation I'm going to talk about a ton more when I want to wear makeup all day, or like I'm going to the city. I'll wear these for like special occasions because they're just so gorgeous on the skin. Like, I won't wear like a super full coverage foundation right now. I have been using my NARS foundation a ton, and my the Giorgio Armani one I've been trying to use quite a bit, the Power Fabric and the MAC waterproof one. But I haven't really reached for the MAC waterproof one other than like once, like last week, I believe, because I kept on my foundation like all day. But I haven't used it too often. I've just been wanting a lighter coverage in the summertime. That's just how I am. So I don't want to like make it too full coverage. But this is gorgeous. They're full coverage by not being uncomfortable on the skin, and that's why I love this one. And then the other one, of course, is my all-time favorite foundation, the Lancome Teint Idol 24-Hour Makeup Oxynoxate Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 15 Wear and Comfort Retouch-Free Divine Perfection Foundation in the shade 210 Buff N. This has just quickly become my all-time favorite foundation. I think I can unscrew this one and see how much I've actually used of it. It's kind of hard to tell with some of these foundations on how much you've actually used. But I've used quite a bit. I can see that I've used quite a bit of it. But it is really dark inside the bottle. Yeah, I've used a lot. So I don't think it's going to be any trouble for me to use this one up either. Maybe not for a while because but I think this is probably the only high-end foundation I will die without if I don't repurchase it. So this is going to be the only high-end foundation I'm going to be repurchasing because I absolutely love this foundation. It's gorgeous on the skin. I ended up returning the Fenty Beauty one, and I love the Burberry Cashmere one instead, but I'm not going to go myself to use up that one. I probably will use that up anyway. But this is my all-time favorite, so I love it so much as I'm dropping it out of the cap. So, and then the last one that I goaled myself to use up last year, actually two. I don't know why I goaled myself to use up this one. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick Foundation in the shade Y225. So I'm probably not going to be working on this foundation anymore. I don't know why I goaled myself to use it up. I really don't reach for this too often. I don't really love this foundation. I'm just not a fan of stick foundations. Since I'm such a fan of beauty sponges to apply my foundation, I don't like brushes. That I'm just like, this foundation's not that great for me. But this is the only stick foundation that I own. I'm going to continue to use it. I do use it sometimes, but I really don't use it often enough to use it in this video. So I'm going to take this one out of here and I'm going to replace it with another foundation in just a minute. And then the last one that I goaled myself to use up last year is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow Oxynoxate Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 15 Radiant Finish Normal to Dry Skin Hydrating Foundation in the shade 201 Classic Ivory. I absolutely love this foundation, but I might get rid of this one because it's starting to smell pretty chemically and alcohol-y. and it's starting to get very, very liquidy, so it might be getting a little bit old. I'm not sure how long you can actually keep this one, but I've had this one since I believe last January, so it's already been like a year and a half, so I might get rid of this because I absolutely love it. I probably need to shake it well though every time I use it, which I don't, so I might just use this tomorrow and see how it is on my skin, because I think this would be a really nice foundation to wear most of the day. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. I might just use it over the weekend, but I'll let you guys know if it's still the same way on my skin, but I feel like it's very liquidy, but it's probably because I'm not shaking it up enough. But I love this. I'm going to continue to work on this one. And then the other two foundations I'm going to be adding into this as opposed to using up the Makeup Forever one. The first one is another L'Oreal foundation. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup Oxynoxate Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 20 in the shade N12 Neutral Soft Ivory / Classic Ivory. So I feel like every time I use this now, it's hard for me to get it out of the pump. So it might be going down pretty easily. It's a little bit dirty on the inside, sorry about that, but it's just foundation stains. It's not like it's anything else. It's just foundation. At least it has a cap, so you don't have to worry about like it being exposed to anything. But I can't even open this, so I don't even know how much progress I've made on it. But I don't find this to be a dupe for the Giorgio Armani foundation. I find them to be two completely different foundations. This one has slightly more coverage, and I've been loving this foundation more and more every time I use it now. I just used it in my Get Ready With Me a couple of days ago, so you can go check that out if you guys want to see it applied. And then I'm pretty sure I used the number 7 in the next one that I'm going to be uploading probably a little bit, probably before this video, so you'll probably be able to check that out too. But I just love this. It's so beautiful on the skin. I've been loving this more and more this year than I did last year. I just really like this on the skin even more. And then the last foundation is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation Brightening Complex for all skin types in the shade LC1. You guys know I absolutely love this foundation, and this is pretty much my go-to when I don't wear the number 7. The only reason why I wanted to wear the number 7 today, because I really wanted to wear this one today. I'm not sure if I used this one or the number 7 in that Get Ready With Me, but I'll probably check again. I'm not sure how much I've used of this, but I use this a ton. It's one of my go-to favorite foundations. It's just gorgeous and healthy on the skin, and I love it. And I'm going to be adding this one in to use up, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I just love the packaging on this. It is so substantial. It feels so luxurious that I think Physicians Formula did a bomb job on this packaging. And also this foundation is good. It's gorgeous on the skin. I love it. It's so beautiful and healthy. So that is it for foundations. Now let's move on to the concealers that I goaled myself to use. I'm not going to add in any because you guys know it's so easy for me to use up concealers, so I'm good. I'll just update you guys in the ones that I use up in a products I've used up video. I finally posted the products I've used up video that I like recorded like last year or like in winter. I finally uploaded it like a couple weeks ago. So the first one I've used up a million times, and I think this is pretty much done anyway. This is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 15 Fair. As you guys can see, I think this is pretty much done. But every time I swatch it, there's still product coming out of it. So this is the 4th one that I've actually finished. This is like my most repurchased concealer besides the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. But I love this concealer and I use it all the time. But I actually have been more in love with the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I've repurchased that concealer twice now. I'm actually wearing that one today, and it's my 3rd tube of it. So this is my 4th one I've used up of this one, and the Instant Age Rewind is my 3rd one. So I definitely use up Maybelline concealers the most besides the Urban Decay one. They make some bomb-ass concealers. So I love this, but I'm probably going to repurchase it at some point. I don't know why I didn't, honestly. But I wanted to get the Instant Age Rewind because I like that one more than this one. So, okay, so that's the first one. Then the second one is the Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I did go myself to use up this one but I was already halfway through it when I was talking about it in the video. Also, I'm probably going to use up the ColourPop concealer as well. But again, I'm not going to go myself to use up any concealers. They're just too easy for me to use up. I don't even know why I include them because I always use them up anyway. But this is my second one. I used up the first one probably a month or two ago. So this is my second one that I have repurchased. So I'm just showing you guys that I already used up the first one. So this is my second tube. And then the other two I goaled myself to use up in that video is two from Tarte. The first one is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Aqua Sealer in the shade Fair Light. I probably should get rid of this one but I just can't because it's like one of my all-time favorite concealers. I love this so much. But it's pretty much all the way down to the bottom. So I'm just going to say that this is done. I'm not going to include it in any more products I've used up videos because I absolutely love this concealer so much. I already decluttered the foundation, and I said in that previous video, because I literally just watched the video so I could refresh myself on what I actually did goal myself to use up. And I've had this concealer for quite a while. I finally decluttered the foundation like a couple months ago because it was getting old. But I absolutely love this concealer. I'm so on the fence about Tarte though. But I feel like I might need to repurchase this. These are probably the only two high-end products I'm going to repurchase soon because I absolutely love these two products. They're amazing. But I'm probably going to wait until I get an Ulta 20% off because I can repurchase both of these at Ulta. So I'm not going to repurchase them from Sephora. Actually, the Rainforest of the Sea is only exclusive to Sephora, so I'm going to have to get it at Sephora. I'm gonna. And then the last one is the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer in the color Fair. I'm just going to stop trying to goal myself to use this up. I'm just not in love with this concealer like everybody else is. I find it extremely heavy underneath the eyes. I mean, it's a little bit more hydrating than the All Nighter, but I prefer the All Nighter Urban Decay Concealer than this one. That one is super full coverage. It's so gorgeous on the eyes, and it just lasts for forever that this one just is not as good as that one. I find that this one really can bubble up around my face area, and I just don't really love it underneath my eyes. I don't really understand the hype about this concealer because it's not half as good as the Rainforest of the Sea one. That one is absolutely amazing. I love that concealer. So not going to worry about this one anymore. So that's about it for concealers. Now let's move on to face powders. So the first one, you guys know I've been using this one for quite a while, and I'm just going to show you guys my progress on it. So this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder in the shade 2. I really try to not use this powder too much because I absolutely freaking love it, but I don't want to use it up to repurchase it because this is my all-time favorite powder. I just love this on the skin. So this is my progress on it. So as you guys can see, it's very hard for me to not stay away from this powder. Because I absolutely love it, and if I use it all the way up, then that means I've gotten my money's worth out of it, but I just love this. It's so gorgeous and light on the skin, and since I have dry skin, it's just the perfect amount of powder for me. It's so silky smooth, every time I dip my finger in, it's just so smooth. And it just literally feels like silk on the skin. I love the foundation and I love the powder. These are really the only two products from Giorgio Armani that I own right now. I'm not going myself to use up any other luxury brands besides the two from Lancome and the Christian Dior. But I absolutely love this. So I will continue to use this, and I probably will use this up by the end of the year. So I love this powder so much. And then the other one, which I've been working on for forever, I might declutter this though because I think it's getting old, and every time I use it now I don't really see any difference in my skin, so I think I need to declutter it. But I absolutely love this powder. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium. So this is the progress that I've made on this powder. So as you guys can see, it's pretty much completely flat now. This is a baked powder, but since I've used so much of it, it's pretty much not baked anymore. And pretty much people have told me that I have hit pan on this since I can see most of the pan. So I've made a ton of progress on this one as well. Because I see a little bits of the pan here. So I've already hit pan on it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in my collection because It's so smooth on the skin though, but I pretty much have found a dupe that I'm about to talk about. I think that this one has a little bit more coverage though than the other one I'm going to mention. But I'm not sure. I'm so torn about getting rid of this, but I really don't reach for it anymore because I've found other powders that I like. It's still a good powder, but I probably won't repurchase it, but it's like one of my favorites. I love this powder, so I don't know if I might repurchase a couple of things from MAC as well. I'm just trying to stay away from high-end makeup because, like, I really just don't have the money for it. But the one I'm going to mention that I have hit pan on recently, and I'm going to continue to work on it. So this is the only newer powder that I've hit pan on. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder in the shade Warm Light. Right? It's Warm Light. I'm pretty sure it's Warm Light. This is like one of Kathleen Light's favorite powders, and I just recently hit pan on it like last week. So as you guys can see, I hit pan on the center of it, and I'm going to continue to use this powder. This didn't take very long for me to hit pan on it. I don't remember when I picked this up. I think it was like about 6 months ago, so it only took me about 6 months to hit pan on it. I use this pretty much on a daily basis. I used it on my face today. It's just my go-to face powder for natural light makeup days because it's such a light powder that I just dust on my skin, and I absolutely love it. It's just not powdery on the skin at all. I'm wearing it today, and it's just one of my favorites to use. So I used that today, so I'm going to continue to work on this one. I don't think it's going to be any trouble for me to probably hit pan on this part here. So yeah, it's a super cheap powder, so might as well use it up. So I love that. So I am going to be goaling myself to use up these, or at least hit pan on both of these powders. So this is the NYX HD Finishing Powder in the shade Translucent. I actually am a huge fan of this one as well. This one is super smooth on the skin, and I love using it for days where I want a little bit more of like a finished HD look. And I really, really love it. It's really, really beautiful and comfortable on the skin. I have made a pretty, ooh, Jesus, why don't I just drop every single product today? So, I've made a pretty substantial dent on the center of it. You're probably not going to be able to see because of the light, but I can tell that I've made a pretty substantial dip around this area of the pan. So I don't think it's going to be difficult for me to hit pan on it. I did pick this one up after the Wet n Wild one, so that's why I haven't hit pan on it yet, but, and I used the Wet n Wild one I used the Wet n Wild one a ton more. That one and the next powder I'm going to talk about are basically the two powders I use on a daily basis. I use this one when I really want, like, when I do more full coverage foundation. This is usually the powder I go for, so. And then the last one is the Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth Normal to Dry powder in the shade 110 Porcelain. So I usually use this when, I don't know what this brown is that is all over the place. I'm not sure, like, what it is. It's like some brown eyeshadow. I'm not really sure. But it seems to be all over the outside of certain products. I don't know why. I don't know what this is. It's annoying me. So I basically use this one pretty much on a daily basis. So I've been trying to hit pan on this one as well. I did accidentally dent a little bit of the center of it. But I don't think it's going to be too hard for me to hit pan on this. But I use this a ton when I'm working. This is usually my powder I use for work if I want something a little bit more setting than the Wet n Wild one, because this one has a little bit more of a powdery feeling to it, but it's not drying whatsoever. This is a really good powder too, so I just use this one when I'm working. So that's pretty much it, you guys, for powders. Now let's move on to, I think we're just going to do the rest of the makeup on this side, and then we'll jump into eyeshadows and lip products. So let's talk about bronzers, because bronzers are definitely the product that I've made the most progress on. So let's just start with this one. This is the NARS Stephen Klein palette, and the product I'm going to be talking about, of course, is Laguna. I actually haven't used Laguna in quite a while because it's been in the back of my collection for a while, so I kind of forgot about it. But I've made so much progress on it that I've been using other bronzers. So this is the progress that I've made on it. I think I had hit Baby Pan in that video when I showed it for the first time. But as you can see, I've made a ton of progress on it. And there is another product in my room that I have Laguna in. It's Hot Sand. It's a Hot Sand and Laguna duo, and that's how they used to sell Hot Sand. And then, of course, they came out with it individually. It was only exclusive to Nordstrom when they came out with it first, so I grabbed it, and I was like, I do not like this highlighter. It's not that good. It's not anywhere close to the Laura Mercier Baked Highlight, which is like my absolute favorite natural highlighter. Or even the e.l.f. Moonlit Pearls one is better, and that one's like $4. But I just don't find that Hot Sand highlighter to be anything special. The Bonk Disable palette is so much better from NARS. I know that one's limited edition, and that's pretty much like everyone and their mama's like favorite NARS highlighter, because nobody talks about Hot Sand anymore. But that one is so much better. But the only reason why I'm still keeping Hot Sand in my collection is because it has Laguna in it, so then I don't have to repurchase Laguna if I use this up. So I have a backup of it already. So I'm not really worried about using this up anytime soon. I think I'm going to use this even more in the fall months. So this is pretty much my go-to bronzer in the like fall time. I don't really use it in the summertime, but I absolutely love this. Okay, and then the next one that I'm super excited to talk about that I hit pan on, and I just recently hit pan on this a couple weeks ago. Because again, this takes forever to hit pan on. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I think you guys already knew that I was going to talk about this bronzer. And I did goal myself to use this one, or at least hit pan on it. So this is how much pan that I've hit on it. That's like nothing. For how much that I actually use this bronzer, this really is not that much pan. Because this product lasts forever. It kind of has like that baked formula as well. I'm pretty sure when I got it, like the bronzer was like up to here, honestly. So I've made a ton of progress on it, but this bronzer honestly is so hard to hit pan on. So this one's in the shade Light Bronzer. This was the first shade that they came out with. I'm so happy that they had recently expanded their shade range on the butter bronzer, but they still need to come out with more shades. Like, they need to step up their game. For how expensive Physicians Formula is, they need to step up their game with their shades. And the same thing with any like drugstore products, but even like high-end now is also improving their shade range, which is awesome. I think that the whole Tarte Shape Tape foundation scandal, like, it's honestly ridiculous what Tarte did with that. That's why I'm so like hesitant to pick up anything from them, because that was just so shady to me that I'm kind of just not into Tarte anymore. But we're not talking about Tarte, we're talking about Physicians Formula. So I'm probably going to repurchase this when I actually use it up, but I'm not going to repurchase it anytime soon since I still have a ton of product in here. So hopefully I'll make at least a dent here by the end of the year. But this is my go-to summer bronzer for like natural makeup days. I'm wearing it today. I don't wear it every single day, but I wear it when I wear more like natural makeup. So I absolutely love this bronzer, and it just smells like a tropical island that you just want to use it every day in the summertime. Okay, then the next one that I didn't go myself to use up at all, but I did hit pan on it relatively easily, probably because there's not that much product in here. So this is the Kevyn Aucoin the Neo Bronzer in the shade Capri, which is a cool pink. So this is kind of doubles as a bronzer and a highlight, a bronzer and a blush, because you could use it as a bronzer, as a highlighter, as a blush, because it kind of, there's like, it's like a trio kind of bronzer, where this is kind of like a highlighter, this is a blush, and this is a bronzer. So I thought this was such a great buy when I got it over Christmas time. They were putting it on the weekly wow for Sephora, and it was like a trio. So it came with the bronzer, a highlighter, and a highlighting powder. And it was like $15 because it was sale on sale, where it was on the weekly wow for like $20, and then they also had an extra 20% off sale products. So I think I got a price adjustment for it, and it ended up costing me like $15. I was like, this is awesome for Kevyn Aucoin. So I've been always wanting to try the Neo blushes and bronzers because they just look so beautiful, but this was so perfect to try it like this because I get 3 for $15, and I didn't even care how much product was in it, because I'm like, it's not like I'm going to use it all the time. So I definitely use the bronzer more out of anything else in that trio though. So as you guys can see, I did hit pan on the bottom of it, and I'm going to continue to use it I didn't really like how it looked the last time I used it, probably because the pan is already so deep, because it's like there's not that much product down here that like it's not looking as good, but I probably need to just get a new bronzer brush to use this more, but mainly I just use this for the bronzer, not really for, but I do use this sometimes for the blush, because the blush is actually really pretty in here too, and this is like the only kind of Kevyn Aucoin blush that I own, so, but I just thought this was such a great steal, so I'm going to continue to work on that. And then, of course, the last bronzer I have to show you guys is no surprise, the Marc Jacobs Instamark Dreamer Filter. And this is in the lighter shade. So this is the Dreamer Filter Bronzer. So you guys know I've hit pan on this already like a while ago, but this is the progress that I've made in it, so you guys can see I'm probably not going to have any trouble to use this up, and I'm actually hitting a tiny bit of pan, like literally right here where I'm pointing. There's like a tiny bit of the pan that you can see. So yeah, again, not a problem for me to use this up at all. I don't really use this side as often, but I do use this quite a bit, and I do use it sometimes to brighten up my under eyes, but I absolutely love this. I haven't been using it as often, but I do reach for it sometimes just to give myself a light bronze to the skin. So I love this bronzer, and again, it's not going to be hard for me to use that up. That was just so worth it to me to get, since you get so much product in it. Alright, so that's it for bronzers. Now let's just move on to blushes. Again, I'm going to be talking about the same damn 3 blushes that I have not been able to hit pan on at all whatsoever. So the first one is the NARS blush in the shade Madly. I'm sure you guys are so sick of me talking about this blush, but no progress. Absolutely no progress. I mean, I am seeing a substantial dip on the center of it, and I wear this blush so much, like at least once or twice a week, because I have been kind of in a blush rut, and sometimes when I'm getting ready in the morning, or I'm getting ready for work, or just seeing my boyfriend, this is my go-to, because I just don't even feel like digging for another blush, because this is always like in the front of my collection, because I use it so often. It's just one of my favorites, but again, have not made any progress, so I'm going to continue to work on it, but I don't think that I'm going to hit pan on it anytime soon, but it's such a gorgeous everyday blush, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to make any more progress. And then the one I'm wearing on my cheeks today is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade, the MAC Mineralized Blush in the shade Warm Soul. Again, no progress, and I think before though, when I first purchased this blush, this was definitely more of a baked blush, and I think it was more so up to here. So this is probably the most progress that I've made on an actual blush, because it's gotten a lot more flatter in the pan, and this is probably my most worn MAC blush besides Melba. But I've been using Melba so much more than this one recently. But again, this is one of my go-to favorite blushes for just an everyday blush. So I'm going to continue to work on it. I don't know if I'm going to make any more progress though. And then the last one is, of course, the Becca Mineral Blush in the shade Wild Honey. Again, absolutely no progress on this. But for this, I don't really use this every single day, and I have a lot more other blushes that I use, and I use this more so in the fall time, because I really love this for the fall. I don't really use this during the summer months, but it's definitely gotten more flatter in the pan, so we'll see if I make any progress on it. So, I don't know. I don't think so, though. And it's kind of starting to smell, excuse me, it's kind of starting to smell a little bit. So I don't know if I'm going to get rid of it soon, but this is one of my favorite blushes, so I really don't want to get rid of it, but I don't think I'm going to hit pan on this, like, at all. So that's it for blushes, and then the last powder product I wanted to mention is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Ethereal Light. You guys know I use this product, like, every day of my life. So it's not really surprising that I have made so much progress on it. I actually have stopped using it because I'm probably going to declutter it from my collection. I mean, I did want to use it all the way up, but I don't think it's really doing anything for me anymore. I mean, I probably should try and just use this side of it. But as you guys can see, I finally used up my first Hourglass powder. These last forever. They are a hefty price tag. So I'm probably just going to be using this NYX HD powder as my finishing powder now, since this is so much cheaper. And these are really good, but again, they're just so expensive to repurchase that I'm probably not going to repurchase it. So, but I'm really glad I got my money's worth out of it. I didn't end up using up Luminous Light because that one I had for about 2 years, and then this one I think I purchased like over almost probably 2 years ago. So I pretty much have been using these ever since I got more into makeup. And I use this every day for my finishing powder, but I haven't been using it recently because, like, it's not really worth it to me to purchase something so expensive when it's like, it's only a finishing powder, you know? So I haven't really seen the use to repurchase this anymore. So that's it for the powder products. Now let's move on to powder eyeshadows. So I'm just going to start with my single eyeshadows, and I'm just going to show you guys the progress on my Makeup Geek shadows because they're literally the only ones that I make progress on, because it is just so hard for me to hit pan on other eyeshadows. I don't think I mentioned this eyeshadow though in my, I'm not even sure, but I guess I panned that one too recently. I'm not even like really sure. So these are my Makeup Geek shadows. So I'm just going to go through the ones that I have panned and show you the progress on them, because I panned these ones a while ago. So I'm just going to show you the progress. So this one is Makeup Geek's Vanilla Bean. And this one is my go-to everyday brow bone highlight. Nothing new there. I'm making quite a bit more progress in it. So it's probably not going to be hard for me to make even more progress on that. The next one is Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie. I don't think I actually had hit pan on this in that video. I'm just going to pull it up really, really quickly because I literally just watched it not even that long ago, like literally an hour ago. So probably just going to view my history really quickly. I'll be right back. Okay, never mind. I did hit pan on this one in that video, but I have expanded the pan even more because this is one of my go-to transition shades, because I use this as a transition shade for warmer toned looks basically all the time. So it's not really any trouble for me to use up this one. So I love Peach Smoothie. Then the next one is, of course, Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee. I am still trying to use up this eyeshadow, you guys. But I am going to be mentioning ColourPop single shadows that I've been using a ton, that I don't really use this eyeshadow every single day. I only use it for more natural days that I wear like this type of look. When I'm not working, I'll just throw on some single eyeshadows and some foundation and be out the door. So this one I'm still trying to use up. I still have the backup of this sitting in my bathroom, so we will see if I can make any more progress on it at some point. But this one is Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek. So yeah, so that one I love, and I'm gonna try and use even more. Hopefully I'll be able to use it up by the end of the year. Then the next one is Makeup Geek's Cupcake. I didn't realize how long this video was gonna be, you guys. Like, I'm already tired of talking. So this one is my one of my favorite all-time pink shades that I wear mostly with every single pink look. This is usually the crease shade that I always wear. So as you guys can see, I've made a little bit more progress in that one. So that was probably the last eyeshadow I hit pan on at the beginning of this year. Basically everything else has been taking me like forever to hit pan on, that I gold myself to hit pan on. And then the two shimmery shades are Makeup Geek's Shimma Shimma. So this isn't anything new. This is the progress that I've made on this one. Again, it's barely like anything. Like, it's crazy how long it takes me to make more progress on these. But that one is Shimma Shimma. And then the other one is Makeup Geek's Rapunzel, which is one of my all-time favorites as well. These ones I basically only use on like the inner corners. Shimma Shimma I use all over the lid usually when I'm wearing Makeup Geek single shadows, and like the ones that I showed you that I try to hit pan on. But this one is Rapunzel. This one was like one of the first shimmery shadows that I hit pan on from Makeup Geek. This one I hit pan faster on than Shimma Shimma, which is crazy because I had Shimma Shimma for a lot longer. But these are both crazy pigmented that it takes forever to make any progress in them. So The 3 shadows that I goaled myself to try and hit pan on, I didn't make any progress in. I swear, this eyeshadow is like the never-ending brow bone highlight. This is Makeup Geek's Mirage. This one is like the Fancy Faces like go-to brow bone highlight. But yeah, I mix this all the time with Vanilla Bean as usually my brow bone highlight, and I still haven't hit pan on it. So I'm going to try and make more progress on it, but that one like lasts such a long time. And then the other 2 are Makeup Geek's Frappe, which I have made a substantial dip in, but still no progress on hitting pan on it. I'm swatching it right now, and it feels like I probably will hit pan on it at some point, but again, still haven't. So that one is Frappe. It's a really beautiful medium tone brown shade. And then the last one is Makeup Geek's Latte, which is the more cooler tone brown that I have from them. And this one, again, I haven't hit pan on. I don't really use this one as often as Frappe. But this one, again, I haven't hit pan on. So that is all the Makeup Geek eyeshadows that I have to mention. And then we're just going to talk about ColourPop ones. So the ones that I tried to hit pan on are mostly the mattes. I didn't goal myself to hit pan on any of the shimmers. So I'm just going to be talking about a few in this row. So the first one is ColourPop's Hear Me Out. Just want to get it out of the pan. And this one I usually wear on my brow bone on a daily basis. I'm wearing it on my brow bone today. It's a really gorgeous brow bone highlight. I'm probably not going to hit pan on it anytime soon, but I'm going to try and make a little bit more progress on that one. So I'm just going to continue to work on that one. The next one is the only one that I have hit pan on, and this is ColourPop's Firefly. So this is the only other single eyeshadow that I hit pan on because this one I use as my everyday transition shade besides Beaches and Cream. I did include Beaches and Cream in that video as well, but I'm like, it's not really necessary for me to show you guys this one. This is Makeup Geek's Beaches and Cream. I'm probably going to hit pan on this any day now because, again, this is my most used up eyeshadow in my collection, so I didn't even bother showing it to you. Sorry, my throat's getting dry again. But I think I'm going to hit pan on it any day again. This is my 4th one of this one, so I don't use this one as often as Firefly, though, now, because this is my, like, go-to just for everyday natural makeup days, because Beaches and Cream is a little bit more warmer tone, and sometimes I want to just keep it really neutral, so I'll just go for this one. But I am wearing this as my transition shade today, and I will probably use up this one by the end of the year, so not worried about that one at all. The other 2 that I've been trying to hit pan on is ColourPop's Wake Up Call, and I'm wearing this one in my crease today, but I still haven't hit pan on it, and I've had these eyeshadows for like a year and a half now, almost a year and a half, and I haven't hit pan on any of them, which is insane. I can't believe like how long these actually last. So I guess you get a lot of product in the pan, but I don't wear these on an everyday basis, but I've been wearing them a lot recently. Still haven't hit pan on that one, and then the other one and the last one is Makeup Geek's Note to Self. And this one is a lot warmer tone than the Wake Up Call one, and this one I'm wearing to define my crease a little bit more, and again, haven't hit pan on it, but I am feeling that there is a pretty substantial dent on the middle of it, as you guys can see. So I probably will hit pan on both of these eyeshadows within the next month or 2. Oh my god, a bird just hit my window. That scared the shit out of me. And it looks like it's gonna rain outside, which is perfect because I'm wearing shorts and a tank top and I wanted to wear sandals. But it's not supposed to rain today. So I'll probably text my boyfriend within the next like half hour. As soon as I stop recording this video, can I speak? Because I want to stop by Ulta before I see him. So, not going to include any other eyeshadows in here. Maybe Let Me Explain will be the only one I include, because I literally use this so much on my inner corners that this is the only shimmery shade that I'm going to try and hit pan on. Because this is my go-to inner corner highlight. I absolutely love this shade. This is the only one that I use often enough that I'm going to goal myself to hit pan on. The one I'm wearing on my lid today is this gold one, and this one is called Just in Time. So I put that all over my lid. The last time I wore these was in that Get Ready With Me video. If you want to see me apply any of these, I just posted a Get Ready With Me where I use the ColourPop single shadows because they're pretty much my everyday eyeshadows. They pretty much have replaced my Makeup Geek ones, so I don't use my Makeup Geek ones as often. So that is it for single eyeshadows. Now let's just mention the few palettes that I wanted to include. I'm just going to mention this one first because this is the only eyeshadow that I hit pan on in an eyeshadow palette. So the only shade that I hit pan on is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and the only shade I hit pan on was the shade Primavera, which is right here. So this is the gold shimmery eyeshadow. So yeah, I was really happy that I did hit pan on this. It's not exactly difficult to hit pan on these. The only other shade that I did goal myself to hit pan on is the shade Vermeer, which is the one that's above it, and that one is the pinky frosty toned eyeshadow, and this one is Primavera, which is like a gold. So I'm going to try and still goal myself to hit pan on both of those, but other than that, I'm just going to see where the wind takes me to hit pan on other eyeshadows and palettes, because it is so hard for me. I don't know why. I have so many eyeshadows that it's just difficult for me to hit pan. But I use this palette a ton, so I'm going to see if I can hit pan on either Cypress Umber, Blonde Fresco, Burnt Orange, Raw Sienna, but other ones I'm not going to try and hit pan on at all. But I'm going to try and continue to work on this palette. So Vermeer, I don't think is going to be any trouble for me to hit pan on by the end of the year. But I can't believe it took me so long to hit pan on Primavera. But that's the only eyeshadow I panned besides Firefly, if I did pan Firefly this year. But that's it, you guys. It's insane. Like, but I just know my products I use every day, and I use a different eyeshadow palette all the time. That, like, it's harder for me to hit pan on eyeshadow. Alright, so I know that this is a different day. I just got home from work, and I'm about to take my makeup off, so I wasn't going to apply it or anything like that. I actually ended up picking up a shift today. But I wanted to show you guys, literally a day or two after I made this video, I hit pan on another eyeshadow, and I'm talking about the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. And remember how I told you guys that I goaled myself to hit pan on Primavera and Vermeer, and I had not hit pan on Vermeer in that video, and now I had just used this palette, I believe this past Friday, and I made that video, I think, on Wednesday, so I literally hit pan on it 2 days later, so I did end up hitting pan on Vermeer. So just wanted to show you guys that I hit pan on that one too. So now this is the first palette in my collection that I've hit pan on in one palette, or even any palette. This is the only palette that I've ever hit pan on even one shade, because I don't have pan on any other eyeshadow in any other palette. I only have pan on single shadows from Makeup Geek, and one shadow from ColourPop, and a few single Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. So yeah, I'm super proud of myself that I did hit my goal for this palette. So I am hoping to see an expansion of the pans for these, and maybe hit pan on Cypress Umber, I'm hoping, and maybe a few of these crease shades, but I doubt it. I'll probably just expand the pan on these two. I'm not going to like goal myself to do anything else, but I'm hoping to see more pan on this palette maybe by the end of the year. I don't really know. Depends on how much I actually use it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So now let's just get into the rest of the video. So the next one is the Tarte Tartelette in Bloom palette. God, this video is getting pretty long, you guys, but we are almost done. And the only shade that I goal myself to hit pan on in this palette is the shade Flower Child. I am seeing a pretty substantial dip in this shade. I actually have been going for this palette a little bit more often. So this is the progress that I made in the shade Flower Child. So as you guys can see, I have a pretty big dent in that palette. Hold on, my boyfriend's texting me. Okay, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult for me to hit pan on this one by the end of the year. This is the only shade that I use as my transition shade when I do reach for this palette. But I don't really reach for this palette that often, but it is a good transition shade. So I'll see if I make any more progress in that one. And then the other one is the Makeup Geek Manny MUA palette. You guys know I already used up Beaches and Cream a while ago, but again, that's my go-to transition shade, so that was absolutely no trouble for me to use up. So that's why I repurchased the single one, because I had this one for a while and I was using it out of this palette, so why would I repurchase it if I already had it in here? And the only shade I decided to go myself to hit pan on is Makeup Geek's foiled shadow in the shade Luna. So again, I haven't made any progress in this one. I mean, I do see a pretty substantial dent in it. So maybe I might hit pan on it at the end of the year. So I'm going to continue to work on it. Not going to go myself to use up anything else in this palette. But that shade is so gorgeous. That one is Luna right here. It's such a beautiful eyeshadow. But I do find that just the foiled shadows from Makeup Geek just transfer so easily, whether I use a glitter glue or not. So I try and kind of stay away from the foiled shadows because they're not really like that easy to keep on your lid. And then the other eyeshadow palette is the Baked Browns eyeshadow palette by Dose of Colors. I actually just wore this in my haul video that I just posted with a ColourPop glitter on the lid. So I did use this eyeshadow palette. And I did go myself to try and hit pan on the middle shade, which is the shade Outdoorsy. So that is the shade right there. So that's the progress that I made on this eyeshadow. And like I said, I felt like that this eyeshadow was really easy for me to make a dip in. So I'm not really too worried about probably hitting pan on this eyeshadow because it feels like it's pretty deep in the pan. So that is the progress that I made on that one. I absolutely love the quality of these Dose of Colors eyeshadow palettes. The hype is real, honestly, because they are so beautiful and they are just, be careful with how much product you use because they are very pigmented, but they are just so worth it to me. And I only picked these up during like a 20% off sale. For Dose of Colors, I was really intrigued on trying the Sassy Siennas one, but I haven't picked up any more because I have so many eyeshadow palettes that it's like I really don't need any more eyeshadows. It's like, I was thinking about it that I was like, oh my god, I like really want to pick up a new eyeshadow palette, but then I was like, wait, I have too many. Like, I need to start using my other ones again to pick up any more because I've mostly just been using single eyeshadows and like my other go-to palettes like this one and the next one that I'm going to talk about. And the next one I'm going to talk about. So the other one that I goaled myself to try to hit pan on, which I probably will again by the end of the year. Again, I'm just updating my progress on these things. It doesn't mean that I probably won't hit pan, or maybe I won't, maybe I will. I'm not sure. I'm just going to be like, whatever. So this is the ColourPop Dream Street eyeshadow palette by Kathleen Lights. And I goaled myself to try and hit pan on these two shades. So this one is the shade Shooting Star, and this one is the shade Magical. So I don't think I'm going to hit pan on them anytime soon, but I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. I just used it a couple of days ago, and I try to use this at least once or twice every week or two because I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. So that one is Shooting Star, and that one is Magical. So that is like this brown tone shade, and this one is a peachy tone shade, and I basically use these as transition shades every time I use this palette. But I find this palette to be so versatile, and I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did, but the way that they laid it out is just so beautiful. I actually do use these shades a ton, but every other shade is just a gorgeous neutral shade. I don't care if this is just a basic natural palette. If you take away those 3 pops of color, I think that this palette was so smartly laid out. And I know there was like a huge scandal about the Lumia palette that got scrapped that was actually repackaged by ColourPop, but whatever. I love this palette. It's really good quality. I do want to pick up another ColourPop eyeshadow palette. I've been so torn to pick up the Yes Please palette, but it's like, again, I have Sugar Pill eyeshadows that are so similar to that palette that I don't really need it. I'm just looking at it because it's a cheap ColourPop palette. And then the last palette that I'm going to include this time, I didn't include it the last time when I did goal myself to use products in 2018, but this is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I still use this palette, you guys, and I do still really, really like it. But the only reason why I absolutely love this palette is for this shade right here, and this is the shade Luscious. I actually had thought that I had hit pan on this a little while ago. I don't know if I actually did, but it feels like I did, and I was kind of like rubbing the pan like a crazy person. I don't know if I actually did, but I'm going to continue to work on it. It's such a gorgeous eyeshadow. It's this shade right here that I just swatched. It's right up here, and I absolutely love it. I love it on the lid, on the inner corners, but I'm going to continue to work on just that shade. Maybe Beaches and Cream or Peaches and Cream. This is the only shade that I use as my transition shade when I use this palette. It's very similar to Beaches and Cream. That's why I called it Beaches and Cream, but it's called Peaches and Cream. So I still like really using this palette. I do find that the eyeshadows kind of like the matte shades like kind of muddy up a little bit. So I prefer the Naked Heat palette over this one now, but I still like using this palette and I reach for it a ton in the summertime. So I'm going to continue to use it. And then the last one, I just wanted to mention the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette because I know I kept on saying I was going to try and goal myself to use up this palette like 50 million times, but I just have never been able to hit pan on even one eyeshadow in this palette. But I'm just going to show you guys the progress that I made on Silk Teddy. So this one I absolutely love, and I'm going to still continue to work on it. This is like a pinky shimmery tone shade, and that one is right here. Look how pretty that shade is. It's so beautiful. I love this color. So I'm going to try and keep on working on that one, but I do see a pretty huge dip in this one. I almost forgot to mention the highlighter that I'm wearing today, but this is the only highlighter, again, that I'm going to include and continue to work on. This is the Becca Shimmery Skin Perfector Press in the shade Opal. I did decide to wear it today, and this is the progress that I made on this one. I had already hit pan on this in the video that I made for the 2018 products I wanted to use up. I'm not going to be including Champagne Pop anymore because I think I'm going to declutter my individual one because after I repressed it, I don't find it to be the same. This one is still completely fine. I'm still using this one and it's just so gorgeous. So I'm just going to continue to work on it. I hit a lot of pan on it recently, like a month or two ago. Like, it used to be, like, kind of this small, and now it's kind of, like, I'm expanding the pan in it, because I just used it today, and I used it, like, a couple of weeks ago, but the single one, I'm going to get rid of, because I still have the Jaclyn Hill face palette, so I'm just going to use the Champagne Pop out of there, so at least I don't have to worry about picking up a backup anytime soon, and I have a backup of Prosecco Pop and Amaretto, which I've had for forever, because I haven't, like, made any progress on hitting pan on any of the products in the Jaclyn Hill face palette, which I didn't goal myself to hit pan on anyway, but I did hit pan on Champagne Pop a while ago, but I haven't been using the individual one anymore because it's just not the same after I repressed it, because it kind of came apart after I hit pan on it. I didn't drop it or anything, it just like kind of started crumbling when I had hit pan on it. Okay, so now I'm just going to talk about these 4 ColourPop eyeshadows that I'm going to continue to work on that I did mention in the last video. So this one is ColourPop's Koosh. Didn't hit pan on it. I don't think I'm going to, honestly. Maybe I will later in the year. I do use this quite a bit. But it doesn't seem like this one has as little product as some of the other shades, but I absolutely love this color. It's such a beautiful, oh, it's so pretty. Look at that. It's so beautiful. I love it. This one is ColourPop's Moonshine, and you guys know that I did hit pan on this in the last video. I hit pan on this so quickly. I don't really use it as often as Koosh, but I just wanted to show you guys I still did hit pan on this one. So that one is Moonshine. And then the other one, which I really don't use that often at all anymore, is ColourPop's Cricket. So this is the progress that I made on this one. So that is the pan that I made on that one. Again, it's so easy for me to pan ColourPop eyeshadows. And then the last one is ColourPop's Porter. This one I think I panned a while ago. I don't know why I never really showed this in a video. I did also pan Flower Shop a while ago. And I did replace Kathleen Lights with a new one because the older Kathleen Lights was getting really old. So this is her other shade that she came out with in the Where the Night Is trio. So that is it for eyeshadows. Now let's just move on to lipsticks. And that's about it. So I'm going to start with the one that I'm wearing today, which are the ColourPop Lippy Sticks. And I'm wearing the shade Aquarius on my lips today. And then I also have Oh Snap. So I told you guys back in when I recorded the other video that I had made a ton of progress on Aquarius. So this is the progress that I've made on it. And I'm wearing it today because I just wanted to wear it in this video. I'm probably going to take it off and wear a different color though because I kind of wanted to wear a pink lipstick. But this is just so beautiful on the lips and it's so moisturizing. I love it. And I think I'm going to use up this lipstick this year because look how much product I have left. That's like nothing. I don't know if I like jammed it or something, but this is how much product I have left. I'm like, I guess I did use this a ton. So it's one of my go-tos, and Andrea Mattiliano has been talking about it so much lately. I was like, I just want to wear it today. So she says that she uses it all the time. And then the other one is the matte finish in the shade Oh Snap. As you guys can see, I haven't made half as much progress in this one as I did in Aquarius, but this is the progress that I made in this one, so I'm going to continue to work on it. I probably won't use it up anytime soon, but it's a really pretty matte, like kind of a more mauve tone color as compared to Aquarius, so that one is Oh Snap. And then, of course, I wanted to show you the progress on the 3 MAC lipsticks that I continue to work on. The first one is the shade Honey Love. So this one is more of like a warmer tone matte lipstick from MAC. And it's just such a gorgeous shade. So I'll continue to work on this one. I've been working on this one for a while. And this is the progress that I made on this one. So not too much. I'm probably not going to use this up this year. Then the second one is MAC's Velvet Teddy. And this one I definitely use a ton more, as you guys can see. I've made a ton of progress on this one. And I'm going to continue to work on it. So this one is MAC's Velvet Teddy, and it's just a beautiful, like, pinky nude shade. I love this shade so much. I just use it all the time still. And then oh my god, my neck hurts. The last one is the shade Blankety, and this one's in the amplified finish. And this one I use a ton as well, so I just wanted to show you the progress on this one. And this one's a little bit more creamy than the matte one. So that one is Blankety right there. And that one is just so beautiful for everyday too. It kind of reminds me of Aquarius, actually. It's pretty similar, swatching them. It's a little bit lighter than Aquarius, but they definitely have a very similar consistency. Oh wow, those are very similar. This is Blankety and this one's Aquarius. I did not even notice how similar those were, but Blankety's a little bit more pink toned. But they could be kind of dupes for each other. And then the last lipstick is the NARS lipstick, Audacious lipstick in the shade Raquel. So as you guys can see, this one I have used a ton, but I think I'm going to declutter this. It's not really smelling that great anymore. This one's definitely the oldest lipstick out of all of these ones that I'm mentioning. I love this lipstick. It's so beautiful on the lips. This one is Raquel right here. But I might declutter both of my NARS lipsticks because they're starting to get to smell a little bit funky. I don't want to because this is like one of the first high-end formulas that I fell in love with for lipsticks. I'm going to try, and I'm probably going to keep it in my collection still till the end of the year, and if I don't use it up, then I will declutter it after this year, but I'm not going to get rid of it anytime soon. I just can't. Like, I know I have so many lipsticks, and I am going to be cleaning out more, because I really don't use up enough products to keep everything, and lip products definitely expire very fast, and mascaras and concealers, which I have no problem getting rid of. So yeah, that is it, you guys. I'm going to go because I feel like this video is so long. So I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. And hopefully I will make more progress on these this year. Please let me know what you guys have panned this year or what you guys are trying to work on. I would love to know. Please let me know. And give me any tips on panning products. I would love to know too. So bye, guys.